Hey, I'm Self-Employed Moron. Today I want to talk about 5 hidden costs of your welding business that you might not be expecting. I want to help you get started and stay in business, so let's get going. We'll go ahead and skip taxes because I feel like that's obvious and is different for everybody. So look up your local tax laws and what you would be paying for your taxes every year. It's an important one, but we'll skip it because it's very obvious. The first one I'd like to talk about is your legal business fees. I'm talking about your insurance, your LLC or your company fees, your licensing, if you need a contractor's license for your state or not, um, your bonds, and then your insurance. You got insurance for your truck, your vehicles, your business vehicles, and your actual business, your general liability or whatever special insurance you need. If you happen to be in the welding business, you typically need a general liability. And these are fees that come around every year. The insurance obviously is every month unless you pay year by year. But your business legal fees are something that you pay every year. Your LLC costs a certain amount of money. Here I think it's about 150 bucks. It's not too bad for to keep your LLC intact. Your bond has to be renewed every year. I think ours is 250 bucks a year for our $25,000 bond, and then our CCB, our contractor's license every year. It's now up to about 400 bucks plus continuing education. I believe that's every 2 years though here in Oregon. Um, on the West Coast too, everything is going to be a little bit more expensive. The prices of everything out here is super inflated. It might not be as bad where you're at, but just something to keep in mind. And every once in a while, your insurance will reach out to you and go, "Hey, how much money did you make this year?" And the more you make, the more your insurance costs. So don't forget that. Number two would be your consumables. I know this sounds pretty obvious, like your welding rod, your wire, your tips, and all that stuff. That stuff has become very expensive now. Like a can of 7018 out here right now is like 80 bucks for an eighth inch can of like 10 pounds, I believe, or 11-pound can, 10-pound can. Another thing to consider with consumables is your PPE, like your gloves, your glasses, earplugs, all that stuff. The gloves right now, like a pair of Tillman leather welding gloves with like the thicker palm, out here right now are 28 bucks a pop. If you look at my hands, I don't know if you can see it, but that's because I don't want to buy $28 gloves all the time. So I've been a little cheap lately. Um, times are a little harder, so I'm just being a little bit more frugal. But yeah, I mean, you need to protect yourself. That's that's not good. It's kind of stupid. Um, Another big one for your consumables is your grinding wheels and your flap discs and stuff. Those things can get really expensive. I've kind of been ordering mine off of Amazon lately because they're just they're like less than half the cost. They're not as good, but man, the cost is way better. I would estimate that I'd probably between $5,000 and $7,000 a year in just consumables at least. So please take those into consideration when starting your business or, budgeting for the year. Number three, and this is another obvious one, but you may be underestimating how much it's actually going to cost you, is your fuel. Your vehicles take fuel. Your welders take fuel. Any little machines that you need take fuel. Last year, our I'm looking at it right now. Last year, our fuel bill for the year was about 23K, and that's just with two trucks. One of them doesn't even have a welder in it. It's just I have two trucks running, two different things. So, and they're not both running full time. One of them is very part time, and it was still about 23K. That's a lot of money. It's a big thing to take in consideration when starting your business. You'll be overwhelmed with it pretty quickly. You'll be running out and doing estimates, going and getting tools and parts, etc. Just you run a lot of fuel, especially you're driving around a loaded truck that probably gets 9 or 10 miles a gallon with all your equipment in it. It gets rough quick. So just take that in consideration. I know it sounds stupid, but fuel is a huge cost. And with fuel and running around with a loaded truck comes number four, which is wear and tear on your vehicles, on your welders, on all your little motors. Everything needs oil changes, everything needs parts, and um, just regular maintenance, and all that stuff costs time and money. I have a little list here of things that we did on the old truck last year. Um, the old truck got all new tires, leaf springs, shocks, ball joints, a U joint, a radiator, and axle pivot bushings, All these things are expensive and they take a lot of time to replace, especially if you do them yourself. I mean, by time I mean like you might spend a day working on it, busting up your knuckles and cussing. But if you want to save some money, you can do things yourself. The newer truck, let's see, newer truck, we did a heater core, an axle U joint, a fuel pump, and right now it needs more things like tires. It needs we did shocks on it as well. It needs tires. It needs ball joints, and of course, all your regular oil changes and regular maintenance. All that stuff adds up a lot more than you think it does. Your trucks are your lifeline of your business. You got to take care of them. You got to stay on top of them. I'm guilty of letting things go too long and then I end up broken down on the side of the road, and that's not good. And that leads to number 5. This is not really an expense, but it's something I really think you need to be prepared for, especially if you're doing commercial work. When you're doing a lot of commercial work, you generally don't get paid quickly. So they do what's called a net payment. So they can net 30, net 60, net 90, and that means they'll take 90 days to pay you. And then even after those 90 days, sometimes you have to chase that payment. It's super frustrating, but I just want you to be prepared for things like that. Sometimes you have to chase your payments, and if you had to spend a lot of money to do a job, especially on big commercial work, they they take 90 days to pay you, and you're waiting for that money, just like praying for that money. So take that into consideration. Take that into consideration when doing commercial work. That a lot of times, most of the time, you're gonna have to wait at least 30 days. And here's what I do: if I know I'm gonna be, if they tell me they net 30 or net 60, if I have to wait more than 30 days, my price starts to creep up because I know I need to make it worth it. It's just one of those things. When doing your estimates and doing your bids and your business pricing, take all this. Obviously, take other things too, but these 5 things that are kind of hidden that you don't realize that cost that much. Take all these into consideration when pricing your jobs, and just make sure you're getting your money's worth. All this stuff it adds up really quickly, and when you do your taxes at the end of the year, you'll see like, whoa, I spent a lot of money. So take care. Thank you for watching this video. Check out some more of my content, and I'll see you next time. Like a two-stroke, run it lean, run it mean, and let it sing. Woo!